So something called ESG is one of the operating principles of global investing right now. But try to get someone to define with precision what ESG is, and no one will, because there is no precise definition. Because the point of it is to push corporate investors to the left, and then, of course, to punish anyone who dissents. In pursuit of high ESG scores, poor countries like Sri Lanka have destroyed their economies and then saw their government toppled as a result. Countries like Germany are dimming their traffic lights to save electricity because ESG. So if ESG accelerates in this country, you can imagine where we will be. Very few politicians seem aware this is even happening. One who does know what's going on and is doing something to stop it is the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. He has an announcement tonight about his plan to fight ESG in the state of Florida. Governor DeSantis joins us now. Governor, thanks so much for coming on, and thanks for noticing this. It's a big deal. So what are you going to do to push back?
Well, Tucker, we're going to do a couple things. First, we are going to do through Florida state pension system a flat ban on any type of ESG. And as you say, they like to wiggle around. It's basically a way for them to do politics. So we're going to make sure that that fiduciary duty is defined very clearly and that they stick to that. We also want to provide protections for people in the financial marketplace from being discriminated against based on ideology. I mean, we've seen Wall Street banks discriminate against contractors who are involved in helping us against illegal immigration or against firearm manufacturers, things they don't like. So the upshot of all this, Tucker, is we want to stop these kind of masters of the universe from trying to do through economic power what they cannot achieve at the ballot box. And it's really an end run around democracy where they're trying to impose these things. And here in Florida, I want to be governed by the values of Destin, not the values of Davos.
Well, that's exactly right. It's anti-democratic. I mean, so nobody ever votes on, I mean, there's never been a vote on anything pertaining to ESG. Am I right?
That's right. And what happens is you'll have asset managers who manage all these pension funds. You know, they will require ESG. The companies themselves will do it. I think there's a couple reasons. I mean, I do think part of this is there's woke employees in these companies, and the inmates have basically run the asylum. So some of the CEOs bend to that. But I do think there's some of these CEOs, Tucker, who really like to exert power over the rest of us, and that's what we're doing. It'll be a disaster for our economy, of course, with we've seen with the energy. But to have the economy politicized this way, that's a recipe for disaster. But then also, it takes power away from the American people and lodges it into these international corporate titans. And that's not, I think, what our founding fathers ever intended.
It certainly isn't. And it's been going on for years, and I don't think I've ever heard a national level politician mention it, even mention it. Are other governors aware this is happening in their states with their states' pension funds?
I think there are, and I think that you're going to see some other states do what Florida. And then what I'd like to do is get a lot of the conservative states together and let's get our proxy voting rights on all of our funds. Let's combine those and vote as a block. Tucker, we'd have over $1 trillion in assets between just the red states. That would make a difference when you're talking about that. So we would be able to check a lot of these ESG votes that are going on throughout corporate America. So I would urge all my fellow governors around the country, hell, Republican or Democrat, let's band together and let's fight back against this so we can keep power to the people.
Yeah, because the consequences we've seen around the world have been really, really severe. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, I appreciate your telling us about that. Thanks very much.